much, Chief of Staff. The PSs from the various state departments, our distinguished ECCs, the representatives from our county governments, and all protocols observed, if I may be allowed to use that phrase. I will not be able to speak for a long time, but please take my apologies. It's not my style of getting late for a meeting, which is said. I should have been here earlier, but unfortunately I woke up with a very bad flu, having gone around Mombasa on other official engagements, and I was quite indisposed early morning. But I said I must try to be here and be part of this great meeting, a meeting which is so important in this country, a meeting that will be able to start this process of farmer registration. Farmer census in this country, in my view, is critical, and I would want to really emphasize what most of the speakers I have seen, because without the data we intend to collect, planning becomes very difficult. This data is not only important for fertilizer subsidy, but it's also very important because when we talk or we speak about food and nutritional security, when we sit down as a government to work out the food requirements of this country and they are known, we must equally be able to see how to raise or to produce the required food, and it is through this farmers' data we can be able probably to plan and say, because this country is served by different rain patterns, our ecological zones are different. It is out there of this data we can be able to know which area can give us how many bags of maize, beans, rice, potatoes, whatever it is that we would want, including meat, right? Because livestock appears to be forgotten once in a while. So farmer registration, the collection of this data is so critical to us as government because it will really assist us in planning ahead. We cannot be able to increase productivity when we do not know which farmer requires what support, whether it is seed, whether it is fertilizer, whether it's extension service. This information is critical. And PS Interior, allow me to thank you and your team, because when Magoya we sat for the first time under the chairmanship of Deputy President and under direction from His Excellency President William Ruto, you people have really worked hard to get to where we are today, and I'm happy and I want to thank you for the efforts that you've really put in place within a very short time, because I remember it is around 20th or thereabout when we met the county commissioners, and in less than 2 weeks' time, we have the ACCs sitting here to be trained so that we can get to the ground to train our chiefs and our assistant chiefs to collect this important data. You see how when government works together, when every department knows, puts its effort, what synergy can really be able to bring on the table. The Department of Statistics, the Department of Economic Planning, Department of Interior. If this business was left to the Ministry of Agriculture, we would not have managed. So each department of government as a role to play in this exercise, and that's why I'm saying when government works for the common good of the public and resources are spent when there is consultation, then work becomes easier and we achieve better results. I am happy also to note that the representation of the county governments in this meeting is also quite huge. And I want to thank the county governments and through the representatives that are here and tell you I want to make a commitment on behalf of the government that my ministry will work very, very closely with the county governments in whatever matter that the Ministry of Agriculture is supposed to be doing, because I appreciate and recognize the importance of county governments in increasing production in this country. It is clear in my mind that agriculture is devolved. 90% is devolved. There is nothing that as the ministry we can be able to achieve without collaborating together, without working closely. So send or pass my appreciation to your county chiefs when you get back there and tell them the commitment that I made on the 16th of December when we had our meeting at the Windsor, and the meeting that we are preparing for the 26th and 27th, the commitment remains. And I also want to say, even when probably there is some bit of an oversight here and there, please don't think that it is intentional. Human beings can make errors, can make mistakes, and when such are raised, we always be ready to correct. But our common ground is that we work very closely with the county governments. Crop husbandry, livestock is in your domain. To address it, we have no option. We are conjoined twins. We are like Siamese twins. We are joined to the hip. So there is no way we can survive without working together. The constitutional architecture of the country requires us to work together and complement one another. And PS Interior, this is the work that the provincial or the national government and administration officers should be doing, facilitating departments of government, county governments to really deliver on various aspects of their mandate, because we all serve the same people. At the end of this exercise, you realize out of this collaboration between the county governments, the national government, and our national government officers on the ground, how easy the exercise will be. And this is what a professional public service is supposed to be doing. This is now what your work is, regardless of where you come from, what political position or party you served. It is immaterial. And this is, in my view, the right direction. This is, I'm sure, would achieve so much as a country. This data, and for the few weeks we've been at the Ministry of Agriculture, was informed by the need to address the hue and cry that arose out of the first subsidy program that was announced by government, and county governments came saying, oh, we are not involved in this. Farmers were saying we're walking for very many kilometers to get their fertilizer. And through the direction of His Excellency the President, it was found necessary for us to see how we can be able to have the redemption of this fertilizer subsidy through a platform, through an e-voucher, so that every farmer from whatever part of the country who is a beneficiary of this program is able to access fertilizer at the nearest point of sale. And this is why it is so critical. I know we are really racing against time because we don't want to repeat the mistakes that we did in the first phase. And so I'm calling upon you, ladies and gentlemen, seated here, to kindly professionally run the exercise with the greatest speed that is possible, so that the data you collect is able to be processed. We are able to use it so that in the next rollout, then we will be able to reach out to very many farmers without any or much cry out there. Let me thank those that have sat for very long hours once again. Kalro is the processing data, Mr. Kirega. It was really, there has been a shame when even those development partners that have really been interacting with, when they ask us for our farmers' data, we really do not have. Some of them opt to give us. That is not where we want to be as a country. So I am very delighted to be part of this particular meeting to really open this training so that you, ladies and gentlemen, as you get down to your counties, then you are able to really train those other gentlemen who will be our enumerators, will be able to gather this data for us, which is so critical in ensuring that we manage our production, we manage our agriculture properly. This targeted approach, I think, in my view, I've no doubt, will go a long way in trying to sort out the major problems that we have. This information will be able to assist us plan so that we know, even when we are giving this fertilizer, what amount do we give? What type of fertilizer is supposed to be given? Yeah, what area can be able to give us what yields if the farmers are properly supported. So I think I really don't believe to talk so much on this, but I want to thank the Ministry and the Department of Interior for really availing your resource to us as a ministry to really assist us in this exercise. The county governments, thank you so much for coming to participate in this, and we also ask you to work in collaboration with our chiefs, with our NDOs, with our ACCs in our various counties as we undertake this exercise, because once the exercise is completed, once we have this data, we will use it the right way. We will be sharing information with the county government because we want to work seamlessly, and I am sure when we achieve this, of course, I have no doubt our productivity, our subsidies will get to the right people, and we'll all be happy as a country. The shame we have gone through for a long time because of our inaction in the past is what we must really address. Whenever there is whenever we have a crisis or a drought like the one we've going through, we are out there and begging with the bows. We are hungry, give us food. This is not the right way, because our countries that are feeding themselves without really having to rely on that, because they plan themselves better. And I think Kenya is, with the right leadership that we have right now is just a matter of a few months. And as you undertake this exercise, because you'll be interacting with the farmers, as you train them, let them also not forget the call that the president has made, that to address the effects of climate change, each one of us must plant a tree. The 15 billion trees we want to plant within the next 10 years, and we have a target of 5 billion trees the first 5 years, can only be achieved through proper coordination and through a serious campaign, which I'm asking you to be part of, because this is what is now affecting us, because we never carried along the great saying that our great presidents really talked about, those that were growing up, because that time we remember President Moi who used to say, kipanda kata mti moja panda mbili. And doing on with that style of kata mpinde moja unapanda mbili, our forest cover would be better than what it is. So I call upon you to be the ambassadors, to be the leaders of this tree planting campaign, because it's out of tree planting that we are also able to really harness the effects of these harsh climate conditions, and especially be able to better our ecosystems, and in future we will be able to really have mitigated these effects, and the effects, good weather and other bad effects of harsh weather will really subside, and we'll be able to move on together, and as a good country we will be able to produce enough food. So thank you very much. I now want to say and appreciate you people finally, and clear this meeting opened, and then we can move to the next stage, so that the whole exercise starts, and get this data collected within the soonest time possible, then so that the consumers of the data are able to use it for the good of this country. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. Asante sana.